The Earth fleet was tiny, a mere handful of ships compared to the massive alien armada hovering silently in the outer system. Every officer on the human side knew it was hopeless, yet hope burned brighter than fear. In the command room of the largest human ship, Captain Marcus Hale stared at the blinking radar screens. The alien fleet was enormous. Each ship could destroy an entire planet. Every human ship combined would be reduced to rubble in minutes if attacked directly. "We can't win with brute force," Marcus said quietly. "We fight smart or we die." On a small station near Mars, Dr. Elena Shaw worked feverishly. She had decoded more of the alien transmissions and discovered something remarkable. The aliens were arrogant. They underestimated humans completely. Their tactics were rigid, predictable. And in their overconfidence, they had left tiny gaps in their formation. "This is our chance," Elena whispered. "We can survive this. But we have to act fast and we have to be clever." Back in space, Admiral Varric watched with growing interest. The humans were active now. They had scrambled ships, coordinated patrols, and even sent bursts of signals that seemed organized. "They are moving," one officer said. "But how? They have no chance." Varric's eyes narrowed. "Observe closely. They are doing something unusual." The first human attack was small, almost invisible. Tiny fighter ships zipped between asteroid belts, using the shadows and the gravitational pull of planets to hide. The alien scouts detected them but assumed they were minor distractions. Every shot fired at the humans missed. Captain Marcus grinned as his small fleet darted between alien cruisers. Each move was precise, calculated, exploiting gaps in the alien formations that Varric had not expected any species to notice. "They are learning," the Admiral muttered, leaning over the console. "How? This species should be simple, weak, and emotional. Yet they adapt." Elena monitored the battle from her station. Using hacked alien communications, she guided human ships toward the weakest points of the armada. Small attacks created confusion. Sensors were jammed, cloaked ships were revealed, and the aliens began to lose coordination. "Keep pushing," Elena shouted. "They won't expect this." Varric's expression darkened. Every strike from humans was clever, precise, and unpredictable. It was nothing he had ever seen in a species he considered primitive. His officers were nervous. Many whispered that humans were dangerous in a way no one had calculated. Meanwhile, on Earth, news of the first encounters leaked to the public. Panic spread, but awe followed. Citizens watched as tiny human ships engaged the enormous alien fleet and somehow survived. For the first time, the idea that humans might fight back crossed everyone's mind. In space, a massive alien battleship targeted the human flagship. Its weapons were set to annihilate everything in seconds. Captain Marcus knew this was the moment. "Now Elena," he yelled. At her station, Elena activated a system she had been secretly developing. Tiny drones were deployed, invisible to alien sensors. They moved between ships, sabotaging engines and weapons systems. The human fleet struck at the precise weak points of the alien armada. Chaos erupted among the alien ranks. Varric's voice boomed across the bridge. "What is this? They are clever. They are thinking." His fingers slammed the console as he tried to regain control. Every move he made was anticipated by humans. Every plan was countered. For the first time in his long career, Varric felt fear. On the human side, the small fleet gained confidence. Every successful strike, every alien cruiser disabled, increased morale. The impossible suddenly felt possible. Elena looked at Marcus. "They underestimated us. And that is our advantage. Let's keep moving." The alien admiral clenched his teeth. He had expected humans to panic, to scatter, to cry and flee. Instead, humans adapted, outsmarted, and fought back with intelligence rather than strength. "They are different," Varric whispered almost to himself. "They are dangerous." The fleet continued to clash. The gap between the species' power was huge, but humans turned that weakness into a weapon. Every trick, every clever maneuver brought hope to Earth. And in the shadows, Varric realized something chilling. He had ignored humans for centuries, assumed they were weak, assumed they would crumble. Yet now, facing them in battle, he understood his first mistake. A human victory was impossible by force alone. But the cleverness, courage, and unpredictability of humans made them far more dangerous than any alien had ever imagined. Varric's last words to his officers before retreating to reassess strategy were whispered, but they would echo across the galaxy. Never underestimate them. Earth's skies were calm, peaceful, and completely unaware of the danger approaching. In orbit, satellites continued their silent work, unaware of the alien eyes watching them from the darkness beyond. Inside a government command center, alarms suddenly blared. Red lights flashed and military officers scrambled to their stations. Multiple unidentified objects detected at the edge of the solar system, one officer shouted. Are they asteroids? Another asked nervously. No, the lead analyst replied. They are moving too fast, and they are intelligent. This is not natural. Far above, Admiral Varek watched from his flagship. The alien fleet moved in perfect formation, like a predator circling its prey. Varek had commanded hundreds of fleets in his life, yet something about this planet and its inhabitants felt unusual. They are disorganized, he said. Wait, emotional. But there is something in them. Something I do not understand. Meanwhile, on Earth, Dr. Elena Shaw was frantically working at her small research station. The strange signals had grown stronger, more urgent. She had decoded part of the alien messages. They described an advanced fleet, a species ready to conquer Earth. They're coming, they are coming for us, she whispered to herself. Her hands shook as she prepared her report to send to Earth's military command. But her warning was met with disbelief. Dr. Shaw, relax, one senior officer said. Aliens? You mean, like science fiction? There's nothing there. Elena's eyes burned with frustration. She knew time was running out. You have to look at the scans. Something is moving near Jupiter. Ships, huge ships. They're not from this solar system. Impossible, the officer said. Our radar would have detected them earlier. Elena's fingers flew across the console. They're cloaked. Their technology is beyond anything we have. They've been hiding, until now. As humans argued, Varek's fleet approached the inner solar system. Scout ships slipped past Jupiter, silently scanning the planets. On each world, the sensors detected faint human transmissions, television signals, satellites, radio waves, but to Varek it was all insignificant. Or so he thought. On Earth, ordinary citizens noticed strange anomalies in the sky. Sudden flashes of light, unexplained energy bursts, and minor disruptions in satellites caused confusion. Conspiracy theorists went wild, claiming secret alien activity. Governments issued statements calling it solar interference and natural anomalies, but Elena knew the truth. At the military command, panic slowly spread. Ships were scrambled, but Earth's fleet was tiny. Compared to the alien armada, human warships were mere toys, vulnerable and slow. Varek observed the humans from his flagship, narrowing his eyes. They are awake now, he said quietly. They know we are here, but they still do not understand. They are not ready for war. Back at her station, Elena found a moment of hope. A small group of elite pilots had detected the alien fleet first. Using long-range sensors, they confirmed the size and scale of the approaching armada. Her warning was finally heard. Yet even now, most leaders hesitated. We cannot fight them, one general said. They have weapons we cannot even imagine. This is suicide. Elena's voice trembled but remained firm. We don't have time to wait. We must act now or we will be destroyed before we even fight. In orbit, the first alien scout ships broke through the edge of the solar system. Their massive hulls reflected the sunlight, glinting like stars. Humans saw them for the first time through telescopes and radar. A wave of terror spread across the planet. News channels called it an unidentified invasion force, and social media erupted with panic. On Varek's bridge, the Admiral smiled faintly. He had expected fear, panic, and chaos. That is what weak species do, they panic before they can even fight. But then, something unexpected happened. Small bursts of energy appeared near Earth, subtle yet deliberate. The humans, though tiny and weak, were trying something. Varek leaned forward, intrigued. Prepare the main fleet, he ordered. These humans, they are awake. And now we will see what they are capable of. Back on Earth, Elena coordinated with the military. Warnings were finally being taken seriously. Fleet commanders gave orders to scramble ships, but the humans knew they were outmatched. Their fleet was small, their weapons limited, yet determination burned bright in every human heart. They're coming, Elena said, looking at the stars. And if we fail, Earth will be gone. But we cannot fail. Not now. As night fell over Earth, the alien fleet advanced silently. Humans looked up at the sky, unaware that this night would change everything. And in the darkness of space, Admiral Varek realized something he had never considered before. These humans might not be as weak as he thought. The stage was set. The galaxy had ignored humans for too long. But soon, it would learn that even the smallest species could ignite a war no one expected. The battle in space raged on. Human ships darted between alien cruisers, weaving through asteroid belts and planetary shadows. Every move was calculated, every strike precise. Yet the alien fleet remained overwhelming in size and firepower. One wrong move and Earth would be destroyed. Captain Marcus Hale gritted his teeth as another alien battleship targeted his flagship. The massive alien cannon charged, energy glowing bright enough to outshine distant stars. "They'll destroy us in seconds if we don't move," one officer shouted. Marcus nodded. "Then we don't fight like they expect. We fight smart." In a hidden station orbiting Mars, Dr. Elena Shaw monitored the battle. She had discovered patterns in the alien fleet's movements, rigid routines, predictable sequences. Humans were exploiting every weakness. "Now, Marcus," Elena said, her voice calm but firm. "Hit the left flank. Their shields are weak there." The human ships responded instantly. Tiny energy pulses shot from the flagship, hitting the weak points of the alien cruisers. Explosions lit up the darkness, catching the aliens off guard. On the flagship of Admiral Varek, the alien commander's eyes narrowed. He had expected humans to scatter or surrender. Instead, they adapted, struck with precision, and continued to fight. "They are learning," he muttered. "Faster than I thought possible." "Impossible." The aliens regrouped, firing in unison. Massive energy beams cut through space, targeting the human fleet. Marcus's ship shook as a beam grazed its hull. Sparks flew, alarms blared, but the humans held formation. "We're not just surviving, we're making them panic," Marcus shouted. "Keep it up." Varek watched in disbelief. His fleet had faced countless enemies but never one that moved like this. Humans were unpredictable, their tactics intelligent, their courage unyielding. Each small victory they achieved against his fleet gnawed at his pride. Meanwhile, Dr. Elena launched a daring maneuver. Using hacked alien sensors, she guided a squadron of stealth fighters straight into the heart of the alien formation. The ships moved unseen, striking critical engines and disabling weapons systems. Chaos erupted among the alien fleet. "Unbelievable," Varek hissed. "They are not just fighting, they are winning in small ways." Back on Earth, news of the humans' clever attack spread. For the first time, citizens felt a spark of hope. The humans were outnumbered, but their intelligence and courage allowed them to survive. People watched in awe as the tiny fleet turned the tide against an enemy no one believed they could face. Marcus and his crew pressed forward. Each move, each strike had been calculated for maximum effect. Slowly, the alien ships began to retreat, unable to cope with the human strategy and unpredictability. But Varek was not finished. The alien admiral activated the fleet's secret weapon, a massive warship, bristling with energy cannons and capable of obliterating entire human fleets in minutes. "This ends now," Varek declared, his voice cold and commanding. "Destroy them. Leave nothing." Marcus saw the massive ship approaching. Its size and firepower dwarfed all human vessels combined. Yet he did not falter. "Steady," he said. "We've fought worse odds with brains, not brawn. This ends with smart moves, not panic." Elena analyzed the alien ship. Its weak points were visible only from certain angles. A direct attack would fail. But if the humans could lure it into a trap— "Marcus, this is it," she said. "Use the asteroids. We can trap their weapon and disable it. One shot can change everything." With careful precision, Marcus maneuvered his ships. The alien warship followed, confident in its superiority, unaware it was walking into a trap. Tiny human fighters zipped through gaps in the asteroid field, hitting precise control points on the massive hull. Systems failed, engines sputtered, and the giant ship began to drift uncontrollably. Varek watched in horror as his ultimate weapon became useless. He had underestimated humans, assumed they were too weak and chaotic to fight strategically. They are clever," he whispered almost in disbelief. "I underestimated them." The remaining alien fleet began to scatter, their confidence shattered. Humans, though small and outnumbered, had struck with intelligence, courage, and precision. The tide had turned. Marcus and Elena exchanged relieved glances. "We did it," Marcus said quietly. "We survived, and we made them retreat." But the war was far from over. In the silence of space, Admiral Varek brooded. He had faced many enemies before, but none like humans. One thing was certain: he would not forget this day. And the humans had only begun to show their strength. Varek's last words to his officers were filled with caution and disbelief. "Never underestimate humans. They are far more dangerous than we thought." And so, the galaxy learned something it had ignored for too long. Humans, the small, emotional, chaotic species, were clever, brave, and capable of turning the impossible into victory. Space was alive with explosions, flashes of light, and the hum of energy weapons. The alien fleet had begun to scatter, but it was far from defeated. Every alien cruiser still posed a massive threat. Humans had survived the first wave, but survival alone would not win the war. Captain Marcus Hale stared at the radar. "They're regrouping," he said, tension tight in his voice. "We can't let them reorganize. If they strike again, we lose everything." Dr. Elena Shaw worked furiously at her console. She had identified weak points in every remaining alien ship. "Marcus, we can finish this," she said, her eyes bright with determination. "We don't have numbers, but we have strategy. One coordinated strike can cripple their fleet." Marcus nodded. "Then let's do it. All ships, prepare for concentrated attack. Target their weak points and don't waste shots." In orbit above Earth, civilians watched the sky with growing fear and awe. Satellites and telescopes transmitted live images of the battle. Tiny human ships darted between massive alien cruisers, striking with precision. People began to realize that humans were not just surviving, they were fighting back intelligently. Meanwhile, Admiral Varek seethed. His pride had been wounded by this species he once considered weak. Every maneuver the humans made was clever, deliberate, and unpredictable. "They are more dangerous than we thought," Varek growled. "Prepare the fleet. Do not let them reach Earth. Destroy them at all costs." Marcus and his fleet moved like shadows. Using Elena's guidance, they exploited every flaw in the alien formations. Stealth fighters disabled shields, energy pulses jammed communications, and drones sabotaged engines. Alien ships drifted helplessly in space, their order and confidence shattered. But Varek had one final plan. The massive alien warship, though damaged, still loomed as a deadly force. Its energy cannons could obliterate entire cities on Earth in minutes. "Focus everything on that ship," Marcus said. "It's the key to ending this fight." The human fleet maneuvered with precision. Using asteroids, gravity, and timing, they trapped the alien warship in a narrow corridor. The massive vessel could barely move. Human fighters launched a final attack, striking critical points. The ship's systems failed one by one, and finally, it drifted, powerless, in the void. Varek's eyes widened in disbelief. "Impossible," he whispered. "They have turned the impossible into reality." As the remaining alien ships fled, humans pressed their advantage. The small fleet, outnumbered but unstoppable in strategy, struck every vulnerable ship. By the time the alien commanders realized, their fleet was crippled. Retreat was their only option. On Earth, news spread quickly. Humans had survived the alien armada. The impossible had been achieved through courage, intelligence, and unity. People cheered, for the first time realizing their planet was in capable hands. Marcus and Elena looked at each other. "We've done it," Elena said. "But this was only the first wave. They'll come back stronger." Marcus nodded. "Then we be ready. We've shown them that humans are not weak. We've shown them that we fight smart and we fight together. The galaxy will remember this day." In deep space, Admiral Varek retreated to the far reaches of the system. His pride was shattered, and his respect for humans, though grudging, had grown. He had underestimated the species, and now he knew better. "Humans," he muttered to himself, his voice low and dangerous. "They are far more dangerous than we imagined. Next time, we will not underestimate them." The humans had won the battle, but the war was far from over. Still, for the first time, the galaxy saw the truth. Humans were clever, courageous, and unyielding. Even against impossible odds, they could triumph. The stage was set for the final showdown. Admiral Varek would plan his revenge, and humanity would have to prove once again that they were not to be underestimated. Space was quiet after the chaos. The alien fleet had been crippled, most ships retreating in shame and fear. Yet one ship remained, the flagship of Admiral Varek, scarred but still deadly, hovering near the edge of the solar system. Captain Marcus Hale looked at his crew. "This is it," he said. "The final ship. One wrong move, and it could end everything we fought for." Dr. Elena Shaw monitored the alien flagship. "Varek won't give up easily," she warned. "He's proud, ruthless, and smart. But we know his weaknesses now. If we work together, we can finish this." The human fleet approached cautiously. Every maneuver was calculated, using the lessons learned from previous battles. Stealth fighters flitted between asteroids, energy pulses jammed alien sensors, and drones moved silently toward the enemy ship. Inside the alien flagship, Varric watched. He had fought countless enemies, yet these humans surprised him. They were clever, determined, and unafraid. They had turned their weakness into strength. "They are remarkable," he muttered. "No species should fight like this. They must be destroyed." Varric unleashed the flagship's weapons, massive energy beams that tore through space. Human ships dodged, using every trick, every maneuver they had learned. One by one, the alien weapons were neutralized by precise strikes and clever tactics. Marcus gave the order. "All ships, aim for the engines. Keep the shields down and disable every weapon. We end this now." The human fleet moved like a single organism, coordinated perfectly. Drones sabotaged critical systems, stealth fighters struck weak points, and the flagship's weapons slowly failed. Sparks and explosions lit the darkness as Varric's pride faltered. "Impossible," the Admiral growled. "How can they?" He was interrupted as the last human squadron struck the main power core. Energy exploded, lighting up the void. The alien flagship shuddered violently, systems failing everywhere. Varric realized defeat was inevitable. For the first time, the feared Admiral felt true fear. The humans had outsmarted him, using intelligence, courage, and strategy. They had turned impossible odds into victory. On the human flagship, Marcus watched the alien ship drift, powerless. "We did it," he said quietly. "The war is over, for now." Elena smiled, exhausted but proud. "They underestimated us, just like we thought. And they paid the price for it." Varric's bridge fell silent. The Admiral looked at the stars, knowing he had misjudged humans completely. He muttered his final words, echoing across space. "Never underestimate humans. They are far more dangerous than I imagined." Back on Earth, people celebrated, unaware of how close they had come to total destruction. Humans had survived the first major alien assault and had proven themselves to the galaxy. They were clever, courageous, and unpredictable. Even the most feared alien commander had learned the truth. Humans were not to be underestimated. Captain Marcus and Dr. Elena looked up at the stars, knowing the galaxy had changed. Humans had survived the impossible, and the legend of their bravery would spread across the stars. The unexpected war had begun, and Earth had won its first battle. But the galaxy would remember this day forever. The day humans showed that intelligence, courage, and determination could overcome even the greatest of enemies. And somewhere in the silent void, Admiral Varric plotted his return. One thing was certain. He would never forget the lesson the humans had taught him. The galaxy had ignored humans, until they learned just how dangerous they truly were. Deep in the endless darkness of space, alien fleets gathered. Ships of every size and shape floated silently, yet inside their hulls, laughter echoed. They laughed at a small blue planet far below. To them, humans were weak, emotional, and unpredictable. A minor annoyance at best. No species had ever challenged them like humans could. They believed this planet would fall easily like all others before it. At the center of the alien armada sat Admiral Varric, a figure feared across galaxies. His armor shimmered under the dim light of nearby stars. His eyes were cold, calculating. He had destroyed countless planets, crushed resistance in systems that dared oppose him, and yet this tiny blue world amused him. "They call themselves humans?" he said, his voice echoing across the command deck. "Weak, chaotic, and so emotional. They will fall before we even arrive." Meanwhile, on Earth, life continued as usual. Cities bustled, ships flew across orbit stations, and news channels reported mundane human conflicts. No one noticed the alien armada silently approaching. They could not see the ships gathering beyond the edge of the solar system. In a small research station on the outskirts of Earth's orbit, Dr. Elena Shaw stared at a flickering monitor. She was young, brilliant, and often underestimated by her colleagues. A scientist with a sharp mind, she had spent years studying unusual signals from deep space. Tonight, something strange appeared. Her fingers flew across the console. Patterns she had never seen before blinked on the screen. The signals were complex, fast, and deliberate. They were not natural phenomena. Something intelligent was sending them. This doesn't make sense," Elena muttered, leaning closer. "It's almost like someone, or something, is watching us." She activated her station's long-range scanner, focusing on the outer system. The alien ships remained invisible to Earth's eyes, cloaked in advanced technology. But her instruments picked up faint disturbances. Tiny anomalies in the space around Neptune's orbit. Something big was out there. Back on the alien flagship, Admiral Varric's sensors detected unusual activity. Small bursts of energy, subtle movements, and signals unlike anything he had seen in decades of conquest. He frowned. "What is this?" he demanded. Officers scrambled, trying to explain, but Varek's instincts told him this was not ordinary. Humans? Could such a weak species cause disturbances in deep space? "They are active," one officer said nervously. "But they are insignificant. We can ignore it." Varek slammed a clawed hand on the console. "No. Observe everything. Every movement, every signal. These humans, I do not trust them." On Earth, Elena's heart raced. She realized that the signals she detected were distress calls. Not from humans but from something, or someone, else. An alien species? Far away, desperate, sending messages hoping for help. The strange part? The signals mentioned humans specifically. Her mind spun. Could humans even help aliens? What kind of species would reach out to humans? And more importantly, why were the messages so urgent? As she worked to decode the transmissions, a soft alarm sounded in the research station. Another anomaly appeared near Jupiter. Something massive was moving in space, cloaked, yet leaving traces of energy behind. Elena gasped. "This is impossible," she whispered. "It's huge. And it's heading toward us." Meanwhile, Admiral Varek studied his console. The patterns he saw were confusing. No other species had ever sent signals like this. Humans rarely left their solar system. They were small, weak, and disorganized. And yet, "Focus on them," he ordered. "Find out what they are doing. I want every movement monitored. Prepare the fleets. If these humans are meddling where they do not belong, they will pay." Back at the station, Elena's fingers trembled as she pieced together the alien transmissions. The messages described a dying world, a species on the brink of extinction. They pleaded for help. And through some strange logic in the alien code, they believed humans were the only ones who could save them. Elena froze. If she alerted anyone, would anyone believe her? Governments ignored her warnings before, calling her paranoid. Yet this time she knew it was real. Something monumental was about to happen, and humans had no idea. In the silent darkness of space, two forces moved toward each other. The alien admiral, confident and cruel, ready to conquer and destroy. And a young human scientist, alone, desperate to warn her species before it was too late. And then, on Varek's bridge, sensors detected something unexpected. Tiny bursts of energy, patterns that did not match known technology, seemed to orbit Earth. Small, but deliberate. Varek narrowed his eyes. What are they doing? The fleet went quiet. Officers waited nervously. The unexpected war had already begun, but no one on Earth knew it yet.